Hey everyone, it's the chaplain. Welcome back to my channel here. I'm giving you a little insight into my garage here for a moment. You know the old phrase, when the wife is away, the husband will play. Well, normally, when my wife takes the kiddos up to the lake and I have to work, stay home, I play Access and Allies by myself. Sometimes I get friends that are interested, but most of the time, everyone's too busy. So what I'm doing now is, the wife is away, the husband will play with power tools. I borrowed a couple tools from my uncle because I am constructing some piece boxes here. So I've already got my tops and bottoms for all my countries. Yes, they are different sizes because, I'm gonna back away a little bit. So what I'm doing is I'm making different piece boxes, piece trays. This is not a new idea. This is a borrowed idea from G.I. Joe, Sired Blood, anyone with real skills. I've got all my measurements and such. I just ripped a couple of strips of this, which is going to be the sides of the boxes. So it'll be about this tall. Then, like I said, I already have the tops and bottoms over there. Then I'll cut some ends. I'll cut some inserts, and I'm gonna make all of this one long video, so you can just kind of get a glimpse of what I'm working on, what I'm doing here, and yeah, let's piece it together. All right, so I've got the tops and bottoms and sides for all 9 playable countries in the global out of box. Obviously, the bigger ones are for the big 5. And then Italy gets the next, and then France, China, and Anzac all kind of get the same size. I've been debating whether or not I should give Anzac a bigger box than I give to China, or maybe I should make China's box smaller, but hey, it's already cut. I don't want to deal with it. Now I just have to cut the ends for all the boxes, and then I can start constructing. It's a process. I only have 14 splinters. Also, you know, I'm the chaplain, right? I'm a licensed reverend in the state of Missouri, legal card-carrying member of a Christian organization. I'm not a carpenter, but Jesus was, and this helps me feel more like Jesus, as well as, I can't believe I'm gonna do this, the sandals, flip-flops, thongs, whatever you want to call them, just depends on what century you're from. Anyway, let's keep going. Alright, I think I'm going to let you in on a little bit of this process here. I'm about to rip this board to get my ends, my end caps. So I've already measured out my table saw. And again, I'm not a carpenter, but I'm trying really hard. So I measured it out. My end caps need to be 3 7/8 inches. So a lot of people have an automatic guide on here. This is what it is, but I went ahead and measured from the inside edge of the blade to my guide, both sides, just to make sure it's right. So let's make a couple rips. Turn your volume down for a minute. odds than that, we're thinking, Rob, what the heck, man? You weren't wearing gloves and I don't have a push guide and I'm doing it kind of ghetto. I get it. This is what I got. So, made a couple rips. These are gonna be cut down to size to be the end caps. And we'll go from there. Hopefully once I get everything cut and framed out, I'll be able to glue and staple. Please don't at me. I do work for companies that require me to follow OSHA guidelines. However, here in my wonderful garage in beautiful St. Charles, Missouri, I don't have that requirement. I was very careful, so that's all right. Don't at me if you're mad at this. I'm sorry. I was being very careful, I promise. And I was praying the whole time because not being a carpenter, it did scare me too. So anyway, let me cut these end caps to size, and maybe I can get to constructing. This is actually going a lot faster than I thought that it would. Hey everyone, it's the chaplain, just checking in. I have constructed a box. It is ugly. I'm gonna have to, tap those in a little bit better. I've adjusted the PSI on the air compressor so that it goes in a little further. I'm using glue before I staple. As you can tell, there have been a few spots where it's poked through, like there. And you can even see metal there. No big deal. I don't care. You can even in this corner see a gap. Honestly, I thought I would be bothered by the imperfections, but you know what? I'm kind of liking it. So again, this is just, man, this is a very, very, very rough looking, all right? I haven't sealed the seams with wood putty. It's not painted, it's not sanded, it's just a rough box. This is the start. I got all these other boxes to do. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, just wanted to give you a little update. Next, I'm going to try to put these little inserts in here, little dividers. I got to figure out a way to get them in there straight. And then, in theory, just for kicks and gigs, in theory, this will just set down on top and inset, which it's not. But I'll figure that out. Anyway, that's what I got. That's what I'm doing. That's where I'm at. Here we go. Hey everyone, it is the chaplain. I am excited. I've got a constructed box. Again, this is rough construction. I'm not doing any kind of finishing on it right now. I'm just building the boxes. Boats, land and air, infantry and markers, and then a little slot for my national objective cards. I haven't routed the lid to give me an easy opening, but I can't believe I friggin' did it. I mean, yeah, it sits down a little lower than I'd like, but you know what? I'm not a professional carpenter, nor have I ever claimed to be. Glory, glory, hallelujah. All right, YouTube. I am taking a break for the night. It is after 9 o'clock and I have to get up at 6 a.m. to go to work. I have the UK box and the US box is done, including the inserts. I still have to route something in the top. Those are slightly uneven. There's glue in there, blah, blah, blah. These are just rough boxes. The UK box is looking good. Anzac has got a good start. I'm tired. My tools need a rest. My brain needs a rest. Like I said before, I am not a carpenter, so this is a lot of fun and a challenge. I got everything unplugged. I got the air bled off. Pardon the messy garage. It's not really messy. We just have a lot of stuff, which is not even a true statement, man. We got rid of so much stuff. Anyway, I've still got all these to build, construct, whatever. And once I'm done constructing them, then I'll move on to phase 2 of annoying my wife with these boxes by sanding them and priming them and staining them or painting them. I haven't decided yet. I'll be back tomorrow at some point in time, although for you, it'll be right now. Hey everyone, it's a brand new day. I've already been doing a little bit of work. I wanted to show you something though. I fixed the top of my US box. Yesterday I tried to kind of cattywampus fix it and it didn't work very well, so I just cut a whole new piece. But so my US box is done. My UK box is done. Okay. What I didn't show you on camera, I showed you the start of it with the Anzac box. Just a really simple, put the cards here, land in air, C, or C, land in air, I guess. So that box is done. The Germany box is done. Now, some of you might be wondering why the Germany box has different subdivisions than the US box. Well, it's because the US has so many freaking ships, boats, all kinds of shenaniganery, which is tomfoolery and shenanigan together. Shenaniganery. So what I've decided to do was, since I love teaching this game as much as I love playing it, we're going to have infantry and roundels here, land, so tanks, artillery, mechanized, and planes, and then here is capital ships, battleships, carriers, and cruisers, and then here is destroyers, subs, and transports. Now, the reason I did it like this is because most of the people that I teach how to play the game have a hard time differentiating between destroyers and cruisers. And you know what? Honestly, for the most part, they're 100 with that, guys. They are 100% on it with that. If you're curious, I will pull out a destroyer and a cruiser from America. And at first glance, these are the same, but they're not. I call the destroyers flat butt sub killers, and I call the cruisers baby battleships because they look like, let me see if I can find one in here. I shouldn't have any problem finding a battleship in here because there's literally 500 of them. I cannibalized my 1942. I put all the pieces from 1942 into my 1940 global. So battleship, baby battleship. That's a cruiser. Flat butt destroyer. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm still working. Hopefully I'm done cutting. I had to do some more cutting today. I did. So I'm borrowing tools from my uncle, right? Because, stupid finger in the viewfinder. I'm borrowing tools from my uncle because, you know, I don't have the tools yet. So that's his chop saw, that's his table saw, and that's his air compressor, and nailers, and hose, whatever. Those are my cobalt pliers, and my stand that I'm not using. But anyway, I wanted to show you what I was doing just so I could kind of give you a picture. I did want to go ahead and mention something though, that I made my Japan box much bigger. This is the UK box, and that's the Japan box. Now, this one and this one and this one and this one have not been glued or nailed in, but cards, roundels and markers, so the kamikaze markers, infantry and all other land units, all the planes, and then the same differentiation between the ships. So I got to get rid of those nails that are sticking through. Again, these are rough boxes. I'm not a carpenter like Jesus, although I wish I was in both aspects, a carpenter and more like Jesus. Anyway, that's what I'm working on. All right, YouTube, here we go. This is my final product. I've already cleaned up a little bit. I blew out the garage. Got the tools all cleaned up and ready to store nicely. These are imperfect. And I kind of like it. They're homemade. They're handmade. I feel like, do you remember in the early 2000s, the kid with the blonde hair that was spiked? You know, he just kept putting product and product and product on it. I think that's what I'm going to have to do with these. I'm going to call these the blonde bobbies. And if you know me personally, you'll know why that is friggin' hilarious. Because that is exactly what I did at that age. So let me set this down, and I'll go through a little bit of what I did. So the measuring was a lot of fun, and by fun I mean not fun. They always say measure twice and cut once. Well, you know, there's little gaps. This particular one has a middle piece. This piece is taller than the rest. So it causes it to seesaw a little bit, which is no big deal. I'll get over it. You know, I can sand it down, or if someone has a router that I can borrow, that'd be great. But anyway, this is Japan's box. It's so much larger than the others because I'm gonna have cards upright when you're playing, markers, so your roundels and your kamikaze, make sure that's in the viewfinder. Here we go. Infantry, tanks, artillery, mechanized, all your planes, and then 2 types of ships. You've got your capital ships plus cruisers, and then battleships, destroyer, transport. I already explained a little bit earlier why I'm doing that. I did that with America as well, but nope, not that side. This side, got Germany. Again, these are unfinished, unpolished, rough construction. Infantry and roundels, land and air units, sea units. You know, I could subdivide even more if I wanted to. If I really wanted to. This one's America's. But you know what? I really didn't feel like it, to be honest with you. I subdivided my little containers that came with the out of box. You know, I got some cardboard and spray painted it black and used a hot glue gun to put it down. And then I'm just like, oh my gosh, this is taking forever. And I got to try to fit my fat fingers, my meat claws, right? I got to try to get my fat fingers in these little, I can't get it. So, whatever. Wide open spaces. Dixie Chicks song, I think, maybe. I'm just kind of ecstatic. This one's for France. I already cleaned up my workstation. Here I am knocking more stuff onto it. France's box, it's smaller, as you can see in comparison. The France box is smaller than, you know, the China box and the Anzac box are smaller as well. I made a boo-boo with the China box. I had a slot for cards, and then I put roundels or infantry. I don't care how you do it. Every one has enough space to fit my national objective cards in it. If I didn't point that out, there's a section in every box that can house the national objective cards, which are 2.5 by 3.5. And I made my own at home, and then I purchased my own. I uploaded all my images to makeplayingcards.com, so when those get here, I'll explain that to you. But anyway, I put this divider here so that this would just set in there. Well, when I put it there, then it started flopping lopsided on this side. So what I did was I added another thing right in there. Look at that. Right there. Yeah? But it doesn't allow me, right, to tip the box any other way. This is a solid construct. This is ridiculous. So anyway, eventually too, by the way, I'm going to try to notch something out. I've seen Sired Blood has little pull tabs up here, you know, and he's got the really nice national emblems. I think he found not gold coins, but he found some coins. Anzac. See, I did the Anzac box after the China box, and I keep realizing that this isn't 100% in the viewfinder, so my apologies. I did this one after the China box, and I said, you know what, I'm just going to live with it. I don't want to have to dump the box over to get to it. Italy. I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's just a game. It's just pieces. It's imperfect. It seriously is so imperfect. So here we go. Butt it up on this end, right? And here is the end of mine. I don't know why the wood splintered so much. Maybe hindsight, I would sharpen the blade, or I don't know, or get a new blade. But again, borrowing tools, not a big deal. I'm still happy with this product. They're mine and not yours. My spacing is arbitrary. You know, you might do it different, and that's completely okay. Again, it's going to be the Blonde Bobby from 2001. We're going to have to dress it up with a lot of product. One thing I will say, I was initially kind of saddened that this space at the top existed, right? I wanted it to be flush with the top. But then I thought to myself, you are too OCD, but apparently not OCD enough, too OCD. If this wasn't flush here, but it was flush here, you would have a stinking cow. So they kind of all are at the same depth because I cut these pieces all the same. All these little inserts, I cut them the same. So whatever, I got to deal with it. I like it. I'm happy with it. I hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, hit like, subscribe, drop a comment. Comment something good, comment something bad. I don't care. I'm going to respond because that's the way, I like it. And, whoo. All right, now I'm going to go inside. It's been a long day. Now I'm going to go inside. I mowed the grass today. I'm going to go inside. I'm going to get showered up now that I'm done sweating for the day, hopefully. And, yeah, check you later, YouTube. This is the Chaplain. I'm praying for you.